Welcome to the podcast where my guests and I talk about anything and everything from sports, relationships, politics, movies to TV shows, current events, and conspiracy theories. No topic is ever off limits, and it's always uncensored. I'm Ben Borges, and this is Man Chatter. Yeah, because you got like the St. Vincent, St. Mary's, and you know what I mean. You got the St. Thomas Aquinas back down south in South Florida. You know what I mean. Those are schools that are allowed to recruit and pick and choose their players, just like in college, so that it prepares them for that whole process. But yeah, it's a preparatory school, right? Like it's meant for those extra connections after the fact, because you'll probably meet like the chancellor of a school or the dean that went to that same high school. You know what I mean? And you already have the way in, or that dean fucking played with your dad because you went to the same school, because it's generational, right? Like,
yeah,
very rarely like is that like just a one-stop shop. You're usually like something called like a legacy, and you move on, like, oh, you're so-and-so's son or you're so-and-so's daughter,
right,
and move so on and so forth. So then it gets a lot easier for those. That's like, I guess that's the privilege that we refer to when we talk about it, right? Like, because you have those doors open because they were left open by the
generation before you.
Yeah, generation before your generation, even before that, where you have 3 or 4 generations like the Bushes, you know what I mean, that had had generational legacies at certain kind of high schools, and your name family type of thing. So it's crazy, man. Like it's unfair, but it's also not, because it's what those families worked for. You know what I mean? Like, that's somebody at some point busted their ass to set the rest of their lives, set the rest of their family up for the rest of their lives.
And the generations to follow, it set them up. You know, whether those following generations earned it or not, someone before them, whoever started it, probably earned it, maybe, but blood, sweat, and tears, and then it kind of left those doors open for them. So
yeah, and it's questionable like where those people might have earned it from, right? Because like certain things were illegal, like there's generational money that people started with moonshine, you know what I mean, or running alcohol. That's where they made their money, and they flipped that into different things.
Yeah,
so the hustle,
yeah,
exactly. So the hustle that people do isn't just the drug dealing that you see now. You know what I mean? Those are people that are in the same way trying to change the lives for their families to come, trying to make it a little bit easier. It's crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. I wish I could have seen that building, though.
But that money that was the people that did it that way 50, 100 years ago, whatever it was, 150 years ago, and they're the people who are descendants of those generations. They don't want the people that are doing it now trying to undercome up trying to do it. They're like, no, we want to keep the status quo. We did it. Our families did it. My ancestors did it. But you guys are doing something illegal. We need to clamp down. Because it reminds me of a line. What's that line from The Incredibles? Like, if everyone's super, then no one is. So like, if everyone's got money and everyone's got the power, then no one does. Right? It's too equal, and they don't want that. No one wants that. People at certain levels.
So what if my founding father, like my ancestors owned slaves and cotton fields and raped and pillaged? You can't sell drugs that at one point was legal, like heroin. So what if the federal government used to fucking dish that out like Advil, bro? It's fucking crazy. It's dude, like, what? Once you start like just scratching at the surface of shit, like, it gets like, I wish I was more ignorant to the shit that I know. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I didn't know, and just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, obviously you got the leg up, bro, because you know what I mean. Your father's father did this shit,
right? You
know what I mean? Like, it's like, isn't that within itself like entitlement, or is that privilege? Like, I know we're going into like a different conversation, but it's interesting.
I mean, it's both. It's definitely privilege. It can be entitlement when people start kind of expecting something because of their last name or where they went to school, but just the privilege of being able to go to a school or have opportunities, business opportunities or other, because of the school you went to, because of generations before you. That's it's look, I don't concern myself too much with that. Like, I know it's the reality of what it is,
right,
of how this country and just a lot of other countries were formed and founded.
100%, yeah. I mean, Panama, my home country. Like,
yeah,
I get it.
All I
Yeah.
can do is worry about what I can do and try to set up my kids. And if they decide to have kids, their kids um, after that. And I can't do anything about what happened 100, 150 years ago, 50 years ago. It's out of
Oh
my
yeah,
control.
like absolutely. Yeah, the goal for I think any parent or any man or any woman is to make life easier for the generations that come before them, right? Like that's plainly the goal. Like it's not. I'm not knocking that. Like I'm not knocking the wealth that they made, but like I'm just asking the questions. Like look at the advantages that they get because of certain. You know what I mean? But
Right.
none of like their own making. You know, but like other people who are told, "Oh, pick yourself up by the bootstrap." Bitch, you made the
Mm-hmm.
boots and the straps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how am I supposed to, how is that going to work for me? Like I'm just the
And
consumer now, but you're the business and the employer. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and then you raised the price on the bootstraps, so I can't even afford my own bootstraps
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly. I gotta go to Walmart to get the off-brand bootstraps. I can't get the bootstrap same boots you got. First of all, most boots don't have straps. You just put them on anyway. So I
All
wouldn't
right,
even
you're
need the,
going too literal with this, but
you know what I mean?
they keep breaking every time I try to pick myself up by the bootstraps, man.
Exactly. I just
Uh,
think it just peels off the side. The paint ain't right or something. I don't know what the fuck going on. But yeah, man. So that was crazy. So yesterday, while you were, wait, did you stay there all day? How long does a PSAT take?
they started at like 8:30, and I think they were done by about 11:30. So like 3 hours.
Okay. Did you sit there? Real question. How great was their Wi-Fi? Did they allow you to get on their Wi-Fi?
I wasn't their Wi-Fi, but I didn't stay. I mean, my son was testing. There's some parents that stayed. I dropped them off. I stayed for about 10 minutes, and I dipped out, went to Starbucks with my wife, and we hung out and talked for a little bit for 3 hours. Yeah.
You and coffee, bro. What is up with you? Have you always been such a coffee drinker?
Bro, you know what? I'm surprised that I'm not a crackhead or something. I was born in Venezuela. I have Colombian blood running through me. I was drinking café con
Yeah.
leche when I was like 5 and 6 years old. Like that's just a thing you
Yeah,
do over there, right? And then
I
I
think
stopped
that's the
drinking.
stages
Then
are
I
like,
then I stopped drinking for like up until sometime in the army when I needed it to stay awake through these fucking boring PowerPoint presentations and training
oh,
that
the
they put you
worst,
through in the
bro.
army, right?
The
Because
worst, bro.
people would
Oh
just
my god.
they'll put up the slides and then they just turn around and look at the damn thing and read it. And I remember I had, I would give a lot of trainings, and that's the one thing I hated. I put up slides, but like just fucking practice your slides, put up bullet points, and then just talk to the goddamn crowd. And I
Yeah,
hated that people would just
the worst.
just
Bro.
read word by word, and I'm like, just like I feel myself. I never fall asleep, but I would feel myself just kind of like just falling, and I would catch myself. And I started drinking
You
coffee
know
at
what it
that
felt,
point.
you know what it felt like? It was, like when you're having that dream that you're falling.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you have no control over. Because first of all, you're asleep. That's what it felt like. Like you were wide awake. You went into it, probably talking shit with your friends right before you
yeah,
walked in, talking shit with other NCOs, with other soldiers. You walk in there, and 7 minutes in, you like all the energy leaves your body, and you're just like a meat suit. You know what I mean? Like you just
yeah.
have no control. Like what the fuck? I remember the first time you go through it. It was like through boot camp when they're like going through all the shit and everything, yada yada yada. First of all, everybody's asleep in boot camp because you're not getting any sleep.
Yeah.
So then when I'm in my duty station, you're going through the like the quarterly classes and all that shit, like the things they have to do, and first of all, I hated as soon as you saw a bunch of like the actual everything you needed to read off of it. You know what I mean? Like when it was really slow font, so they're just reading everything off of it. I was like, oh fuck this! I just get up and stand in the back of the class. I was like, I'm clearly not gonna stay awake for this shit because this
Yeah.
is stupid. Or I just fake that I had to go to the bathroom every 7 minutes. Like, dude, this and it still sticks to me. Like, I just had my work conference not a couple weeks back, and all PowerPoints. I was like, oh, I had to like drink water, drink coffee. You know what I mean? Like, they know it's terrible, so like they'll leave candies all over the desks, like all the little mini bites. So it's like you're just inhaling those, trying to stay awake.
It's
Then you
so
get a
terrible.
sugar
You're
rush.
gonna have a sugar crash. You're gonna have the rush and then the crash in the middle of that freaking
Yeah,
presentation.
they don't know, but I went to my room one time and just took a nap. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, like they won't know. Like they won't know I'm not there. There's 150 people in there. It'll be all right. I'm joking, guys. If you're listening to this, it was a joke. I was there the whole time. Ha ha he he.
But
But
yeah, that's what got me started drinking coffee, man. Like at some point in the army, these PowerPoint presentations were just got to be too much, and I was like, let me give this a try because I always shit talk people that drank coffee all the time. Like that was a thing. That's
yeah,
the thing in the military, or at least in the army, right? Like And Ezio just carrying a mug or one of these tumblers with coffee in it, right? Everywhere they went. And I'm like, what is it with these dudes and coffee? And then I was like, oh, that's what it is. Okay. Whoa,
No,
your screen got real blurry.
I know it's because I moved and it's trying to autofocus.
Okay, which is good. I can't see your face. We don't want to. That's good. If it stays that way, then
I hope it does.
Put it on. You know, you can
that looks really,
change the angle if you want to.
Really, that looks really creepy. That looks really freaking creepy. I don't know what's going on with it.
You look like an apparition, like a fucking the ghost of Benjamin Pass.
First of all, like my hands aren't. You know what I mean? My hands aren't unfocused. I don't know what the hell happened there. I moved off screen. I didn't even move off screen for a second. It better fix itself. It's supposed to be autofocus. I don't know what the fuck is going on. There it goes.
There you go.
Bam, we're back. All right. That's the magic of live television, ladies and gentlemen. Or live internet. But yeah, man. Yeah, I never did the coffee thing, bro. Like I can't drink straight black coffee. I think that's disgusting. I've tried different kinds and all that shit. I can't do it. But I am a cafe con leche guy sometimes. You know what I mean? Like we got Wawa. I don't know if you got Wawa in Ohio.
And yeah, I've been to Wawa in Virginia. They got them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Wawas are awesome with their coffee. You know what I mean? Freshly brewed. I get it from there. They got the little jug. I'm good. But like I'm not good at making my own coffee. I could probably get like the Keurig cups or some shit, but like to make my own coffee, it's disgusting.
I hate
it's
those.
Undrinkable. Like
I make the coffee I make is I don't make it anymore. I use an espresso machine right after our trip to Spain or to Europe where everyone had an espresso machine. You call me a fancy bitch? That's right, with the pinky out.
You do drink pinky up, you cunt. First of all, get a better mug, bro. That looks like a mug that's like a tea set if you had a daughter. That's what that looks like. That's how small that cup is.
Anyway, yeah, everyone had a damn espresso, but I mean, I'm not a straight black coffee drink. Like I don't drink coffee like Americans drink coffee. Even before my trip to Europe, like it wasn't like this big. Right. I never liked black coffee. I'll drink it with milk or cream or something. But I've always been an espresso fan, right? I'll drink shots of espresso, maybe a little bit of cream or maybe just straight black. But I always use the old school cafetera. You put it on the damn stove and you make your coffee. And if you want to make Cuban coffee, you know, you put a little bit of sugar and you beat the hell out of the freaking sugar for like 5 minutes to create the crema.
That mix, right? Yeah, like
I
could drink Cuban coffee.
Yeah. And then we went over we took that trip and everyone had an espresso machine. I was like, you know what? This is a lot easier. It might be a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely a lot easier. And my wife tried it, Mel tried it, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not doing the Keurig cup, the K-cup stuff anymore. So we have the Keurig machine there, but it's just kind of, my oldest son will drink it. He's in college. She needs coffee. I guess.
Nobody. I don't know. I can't do coffee, but like I've tried it. And yeah, but it's got to be like, it's got to be with something else, man. It doesn't work for me. I never did it. Like I never did it. Even in the military though, I never did like the energy drinks. I just kind of push through. Like I do them now because I get up earlier now than I did when I was in the Army, which is crazy. So like I'll get like a bang in the morning sometimes if I don't have time to like make it to Wawa. I mean I'll stop at like the Circle K or whatever. That's more my thing. Like sometimes I had to take it like, especially like when we did that fucking 8 a.m. podcast with my brother.
Yeah,
dude, I had to like run to the store like the night before and like drink an energy drink, or you know what I mean, like before, because I was like, that was so early, man, and I had to be like fully present. But like I'm used to like sleeping in on Sundays,
right?
You know what I mean, or like being out of the house or whatever. So I was like, fuck, bro, that was just too much, man. That was too much.
So in case any of you were wondering, which you weren't, that's the deal with me and coffee. Benjamin asked the question, I had to give you an answer.
And real quick, I meant to say this, but I didn't want to interrupt, right? Even though I don't care about you. So the natural progression for Colombians is coffee at 4, and then cocaine at 6,
7.
Okay,
I think
right.
7 or 8. All maybe right. Depends if you're a late bloomer. Almost
somebody's gonna think we're serious. Somebody's gonna think we're serious. Like, oh, these motherfuckers. This is why we deport them. Right there.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, man. It was. So all right, let's just get into it. Let's go into this fight, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch it until this morning. I'll give you the full story right here, and then we'll talk about the fair and all that other shit that I did this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried I tried to watch it like, and then after I saw that I thought he lost because he got taken down. He didn't really do anything. You know what I mean? To win the fight, neither did the other guy. It was just a boring fight, so it didn't matter, right? But then even like the commentators, Joe Rogan and Dominic Cruz, were like mentioning how bad the judges were. Like, yo, like the judges aren't. He's like, the judges aren't even watching the fight. So I was like, oh, bro, this is already. And mind you, we had already talked about it. We're like, we didn't have the energy or the want to watch this fight, right? So when they're talking about that, like, I lost all the energy and had been gone all day to the fair, walking around, eating shit. So get home, I'm exhausted. When I fell asleep around 10:30, my dog wakes up at like 12:30 crying. I got to take him outside. I was like, fuck, bro. So I take him outside. I was like, oh, shit, it's 12:30. Maybe the fight's on. I mean, so I pop it on or whatever. And that's when Dominic Reyes and Jon Jones were walking out. Dude, like, I was falling. Like, as much as I didn't want to watch, I just fell asleep. I was like, bro, fuck this. I was like, nah, I'm cool, man. I'll watch it tomorrow. Dude, like, I didn't exactly what I thought was gonna happen, right? Like, it was gonna go to decision. There, you know what I mean? It wasn't gonna be any like real threatening moment, and that's exactly what it was. So we'll go into how you scored it, and then we'll go back into how I scored it, and why I still feel exactly the same way. We're like, I don't want to go out of my way to watch a Jon Jones fight anymore, man. That's honestly how I feel. Like, it's not interesting. Like, he seems disinterested. Like, he seems like he's doing this just because he knows he can win. Right. You know what I mean? But like in the fights, there's no passion. There's, you know what I mean? Maybe he's just always dead in the face. But like,
yeah,
I need some kind of entertainment. There's no urgency. There's no wanting to finish the fight. Like, if you're clearly this much better than him, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how. Just finish him. Like Khabib to Conor. Mm-hmm. Khabib didn't torture everybody for five rounds. He saw the opening and he finished them. Jon Jones at no point threatened to end Dominic Reyes. And nothing. It was just like, oh, I'm just gonna show aggression and ring control. Like, that to me is what won him the fight. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Even those takedowns, he didn't do anything down there. Right? He just took him down and he got back up. There wasn't a punch thrown. He was just holding on to his legs. So it was a boring, unenthused fight, man. So what we'll do is we'll get into how you saw it and how you scored it, and then I'll talk about like all the shit I've been seeing on social media and shit like that. So what you got, brother?
Look, man, I agree. I thought Jones won 3 rounds to 2, right? I think rounds 1 and 2, if we're going off strikes, Reyes took 1 and 2 convincingly. I don't even think it was close, even though there was one of the judges or 2 judges that gave Jones round 2. I'm not sure how he saw what they were looking at. Rounds 4 and 5.
No idea.
Jones took 4 and 5. I mean, here's the thing. Reyes hasn't fought 5 rounds like that I'm aware of. He was gassed. You can tell he was gassed. And so comparing the 2 rounds that they each won in the beginning, they were both fresh. You know, Reyes was trying to go with pace, trying to outstrike and try. But I just never felt like, even though he won those 2 rounds, and even though going into the 4th, Jones was 4th and 5th, he was possibly down on the scorecards because it was close. Even though 2 rounds the Reyes won, man, I don't think that he was doing any damage as far as like being a real threat. You know, he was attacking, he was being aggressive, he was throwing more volume and landing more strikes, but I just didn't see. There's a couple times he caught him. But the thing that Jon Jones does, man, and El Cucuy, going back to Tony Ferguson, he does the same thing. When he gets caught, El Cucuy rolls, right? And he'll try to get that ankle lock or that leg lock or something, or he'll roll away, protect his face. Jones does not engage. There are a couple times where like he could have been in trouble and he kind of just ran off along the fence or ran off kind of looking 3/4 of the way and then set himself again. Refused to really engage in those back and forths with Reyes. That's the one thing I don't know if I should feel like. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I like it when El Cucuy, like, he protects himself. He's like, I got hit and I got rocked, and he's rolling and then he's trying to grab a leg and he's trying to do something. Where Jones, or a couple times where I got it, he's smart enough to know that he needs to recover, but he completely just like turns and just runs off. And whatever. I mean, I get it, but dude, you're the champion, and I don't know that that's something that I want to see. Yeah, I don't know. That's go, bro. It's intelligent fighting. I get it. It's smart fight IQ.
Yeah, but I don't want to see that, right? Like, I don't in that listen, if these are supposed to be, I get it, it's mixed martial arts and it's that whole concept of it. I get all that. Right? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have to fight like any other fighter. I get all
Right.
that. But in the championship rounds, when there's for me, right? Like I can't it's not like I can see like the gauging interest of like the population of the people who actually care about MMA, right? Like I haven't taken a poll in this shit. But like for me, when I see that it's yes, he's being the safer fighter and the better fighter in that moment, right? Because and not comparing him to a Kukui because El Kukui's a sociopath. Like he's a different kind of animal. There's nobody like Tony Ferguson. Nobody.
Yeah, watch that video
like,
I sent you, by the way, of how he hardens his limbs. Crazy.
Yeah. First of all, what the fuck? We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But like, he runs away. All right, he got sat down by Dominic Reyes. He got rocked a couple of times by Dominic Reyes. I don't think Jon Jones will ever be not rocked, like stung, right? Like how Joe Rogan.
Hit him. He caught him in like the chest while he was kicking, and it looked almost more like a slip because he threw a kick. Reyes came in and got him right in the middle of the chest, and then you're off balance and you fell, and he bounced right back up. So that wasn't even that big of a deal, I thought. But he sat him down.
Here's the
knocked him down. Whatever.
Right, like here's the issue about this discussion. If you're the GOAT, right? Given everybody gets beaten, Anderson Silva gets beaten, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it almost felt like he's mitigating those chances of losing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's not fighting to win. You know what I mean? Like early Jon Jones would fucking choke out Lyoto Machida against the cage and drop him like a sack of potatoes and not give a fuck. He was a killer. You know what I mean? Like not risking danger isn't what I want to see. Like I'm watching these fights for the possibility of danger. Like I want to see this shit goes like I'm like, oh shit. I gotta watch this guy again. Like Jorge Masvidal, right? Monster had a great career till he murdered Darren Till. Was he? You know what I mean? And then the guy who hit him with the flying knee. Until those moments, you become a bigger star. Yeah, when he did it to Ben Askren, at those points you become a bigger star. If you're edging out decisions, it should have been at best it was 48-47, right? That's how I had it. However you want to toss it up 3-2 is fine. You know what I mean? It didn't matter either way. I didn't care because again I didn't care about the fight. You get what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a big deal to me where I was like, man, I want Dominic Reyes to win. I had Dominic Reyes winning the first two, but again, no clear cut winner any round. So it depends on how the judges see it. You know, it wasn't like he had him stung. He was down on the ground and he got saved by the bell one round for it to be a 10-8. You know what I mean? He pushed the pace, and Dominic Reyes is a counter puncher, so of course he's going to be backing up. So that automatically gives Jon Jones the ring aggression, which I think like because then you are diminishing. You're diminishing counter punchers. What if I'm only, you know what I mean? I'm only good backing up. What if that's my style of fighting? So if I'm giving this guy the pace, but I don't knock him out, but I'm causing more damage, but he gets more points for walking towards me, but I'm punching him in the face. Like that's a weird. I don't know. I just think I've always thought that was weird.
And that's how that judge, what's his name, Joe Solis or whatever his name is. That's how he tried to defend his. What did he score? 49-46. He said 91%. 91% was for Jon Jones as far as ring control or ring aggression, but he didn't take into account that that's how Reyes fights. Like he can fight off his back foot, backing up. He's knocked people out like that. That's what he's known for, and you can't take that away from someone because that's how they fight. That's like saying El Kukui, who can fight on the ground. Damn, I keep going back to this dude, but he fights on the ground, but he's comfortable on the ground. Just because he gets taken down, and then wait till you see all the damage that he does when he's down there. And so, you know, I don't know if that guy was an MMA or if he was strictly a boxing judge, but I don't know that. But here's the thing with Jones, right? Like you said, there was no clear-cut winners. Like rounds 1 and 2, I thought Reyes took. Rounds 4 or 5, Jones took, and I think he took them more convincingly. And maybe it looked that way because Dominic Reyes was already gassed. Well, the takedowns, but he was already gassed, and so he was almost entirely relying on just being able to counterpunch because he had nothing left to go forward even a little bit. So it made it look even worse. I mean, that's his style, but he had nothing left, and all the energy that he would just use up trying to get up from those takedowns and trying not to get put in a bad situation because Jon Jones tried to grab his back a couple of times and he was able to slide out of it. But at the end of the day, like you said it. He's fighting not to lose, right? He's not fighting to win. Reyes was gassed. Jon Jones was coming on strong in the 4th and 5th round. Old Jon Jones would have gone for the kill because that's what I was expecting. I was hoping that this was the fight that he would say, you know what? I don't really have anything to prove, but I got to prove to the people that I can still do that. I'm still a killer, that I can still do this. And he had him. Reyes, even though he's a counter puncher, he didn't have a lot left in those punches, and Jones looked fresh and he looked like he was ready to do something. And he just he just played it safe. I thought at any time in the 4th or 5th round he could have taken Reyes out, and he kind of just decided to win the rounds and score points and take them down.
I don't remember him. Yeah, I don't remember him throwing many head kicks. You know what I mean? I don't remember him putting it like I remember a bunch of like jabs and straights and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just pushing them back. Well, you're pushing back a guy who's already wanting to go backwards anyway. You know what I mean? Like, again, like we're breaking down a fight where like it still wasn't interesting. You know what I mean? Like it was interesting in the first 2 rounds. Like, oh, can Dominic Reyes get it done and knock him out? But Jon Jones has proven to have an insane chin. Like I don't know, unless he goes to heavyweight. I don't know if he can't. I don't think he'd get knocked out at 205. Like I just don't think that happens. You know what I mean? Like, and that maybe that's why he doesn't want to go to heavyweight. Like I don't know, right? Like I don't know the fucking guy from anybody. I've not, you know what I mean? I've never spoken to him. I don't know any of his coaches, none of that shit. But like the way it looks to me as a fan is like maybe that's why he's so. I don't want to say afraid, but like so. I don't know, bro. I don't know what the word I'm like.
He doesn't want to tarnish that legacy, right? Of like being invincible.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he knows that those guys do have the power to put him down.
Yeah, like the thing is like then what you are to me is a guy you're going three runs in a cloud of dust. You know what I mean? Like it does. You're not going for the kill. Like you used to go for the kill. Like I don't want to see you're punting on 4th and 1 and the game's on the line. That's what it felt like to me, bro. Like yes, you could, you know what I mean? I'm sure people with more education and all this that watch MMA, like the Brendan Schaubs and the Luke Thomases and the Ariel Helwanis, have all their, you know what I mean, have all their points and all this shit and chills. But like to me as a fan, it if anything, it solidified why I don't want to go out of my way to watch a Jon Jones fight, because this is what he does. You're telling me he went to a decision with fucking in his last fight against the guy who just moved up from middleweight, Thiago Santos. Like you're telling me you can't finish him off? The guy destroyed every ligament in his knee in like the 2nd round, and it still goes to decision, and that's disputable. Like what are we talking about? You're supposed to be the GOAT, son.
Yeah.
Like what are we?
I think that he knew that he messed up his knee, and I think Jones kind of just backed off. No, I get it. I don't know if that was more of like I don't want to hurt this guy or whatever it was, but like it was obvious during the fight, right? That I know, but it was obvious during the fight that he took his foot off the pedal because he knew that guy was hurt, and like he knew he can't hurt me. At that point, he knew that Santos couldn't do anything,
but that further strengthens the point of what we're talking about. Right?
Yeah, I get you. I mean. I look, if anything, that might be an excuse to be like, oh, maybe that's an honorable thing of him to do. But at the end of the day, you're in the ring to try to like take each other out, take them out, or force the referee to end the fight. Do something to force him to stop the fight.
Yes. Being the nice guy in a fight doesn't get you any wins, especially when you're in a fight that everybody's there to see knockouts, bro. Like you're there to see some shit you've never seen before, and you have a guy who can't knock you out, who can't push off his strong leg. Go in for the kill, bro. Like I think that's the, you know what I mean? Put Old Yeller down, bro. You don't let Old Yeller live just because they're fucking, you know what I mean? Like what are we talking? Like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like I know what you're saying, right? Like but dude, like again, that's what is. I don't even know how. I'm
just trying to help your cousin out. I'm just trying to help your cousin out because he's a
he's not gonna be happy listening. Yeah, he's not gonna be happy listening to this podcast because I'm kind of shitting all over Jon Jones. But dude, when
Jon Jones takes his foot off the pedal, if any time it's excusable during that one fight. I was at least trying to make that argument for his fans and your cousin especially. But no, you're right. That's dude. It wasn't exciting. I wasn't really looking forward to the fight. It was so much so that I was like watching Tony Ferguson highlights, and I was like, oh, Yoel Romero. Looking forward to Romero and Adesanya. Like Jon Jones, really, I stayed up to watch that fight last night, and I didn't even tune in until like, what's this guy's name? Dan Ige, like right before the Shevchenko fight, and that's what I wanted to see. Even though I knew she was going to dominate, I wanted to see Shevchenko just put a
Monster, bro.
beating on somebody. She's a pit bull, and that was exciting. So she just didn't let down, and that's what you
See,
expect to see from a champion. And I didn't
exactly.
see it
See
in
what
Jon
I'm saying?
Jones.
Like you, if you know your favorite, right? Like Shevchenko, debatable. She beat Amanda Nunes twice, right? Like those two
Yeah,
fights
the
went to
last time for
decision.
sure, I thought. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's debatable how you scored 2-3, 3-2, whatever. Either way, she's never gotten dominated by one of the best of women fighters of all time, one of the best fighters of all time,
yeah.
right? Shevchenko does not give a fuck. I'm gonna cement my legacy by knocking bitches out.
Mm-hmm.
That like, dude, like if you keep giving me decisions, you've become GSP, which to me GSP is tarnished. And that like GSP gave me one performance that I liked was when he destroyed Josh Koscheck, like where he made his like eye almost come out of his fucking socket, like
Yeah.
that, bro. Like, dude, we're in a fight, man. Like I'll feel bad after, but in these 15 to 25 minutes, you got to give me your best. Like if you're fighting not to lose, at some point that's gonna catch up with you. And are you gonna hope that killer comes back and you know what I mean? You're able to flip the switch in the middle of a fight? Because these motherfuckers are trained too. You can't do that shit against a Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou will fucking levitate your body off the ground, bro. Like
Yeah,
what are
man,
we?
it was disappointing. I saw him coming on the fourth round, and I was hoping and praying that he would just flip that switch because Reyes was just trying to hold on, trying not to get knocked out or submitted, and you know I figured okay, you go for the takedown, you make him use up all his energy, and then go for the if he gets back up, make him use up all that energy, get back up, and then go for the kill. And he just was happy to kind of keep it at a safe distance and get in the clinch and never really he just there was never really a moment of any like danger where
no.
So yeah, it was a disappointing fight, man. It was. He won. And again, it's debatable. Reyes could have won that fight just as easily. I think after the fight,
either way.
Yeah, Jon Jones said it. He's like, I wasn't too sure that I was winning the fight going into the fifth round. He said it in the press conference, so he knew.
Yeah.
And the fourth and fifth rounds were, I get it. You're the champion, championship rounds, and I thought that he was the fresh one. He's used to fighting, that distance. But he didn't put it away. Like you got to close people out when you have the opportunity, and he definitely had the opportunity to close them out. I thought he did.
I think Reyes made a strong showing. I would have. The perfect ending for me would have been Reyes wins it 3-2, and then Jon Jones can move right on over to heavyweight. Like you know what, I've done it. You know what I mean? Like everything ends just like when Mighty Mouse lost. You know what I mean? He lost by decision. He was able to fade away. He didn't get knocked out. Didn't get no crazy damage, and was able to move on. I thought the table was set for that. I thought 3-2 for Reyes would have been the more favorable decision because then it breathes new life into a division that's not interesting, bro. Like who do you want to see him? Like we talked about this. Listen, we talked about this on the Wednesday podcast before the fight, right? Like last week. Everything we said came true. Like both of us, right? Like now what? So what? A rematch with Dominic Reyes? Jon Jones will probably knock him out because that's what he does in rematches.
Yeah.
Right? When it's debatable, that's what he does. So then what? Then who are you gonna fight? Anthony Smith? No, thank you. Thiago Santos might not have a knee. You know what I mean? Like what are we doing? Like, dude, like what? Just leave.
Who's out there?
You stay
there. That's that same weight, right? Yeah, I don't want to see that either.
Yeah.
I thought 3-2 Reyes would have been great because he's probably the fighter in that division, and it would have been great for Jon Jones to just move on up and see what he can do at the heavy.
It would have been the smoothest transition possible. All right, man. Look, he had me on this night 3-2, and we'll be done. Call it 48-47, 48-47, and 48-48 for Reyes. You know what I mean? And just call it and just have it a snip in the butt and then just move on. And you know what else? To me, like verifies that it was bullshit and it was uninteresting. It was like the almost like I don't know if you follow like social media with like John Anik, which is the commentator, and like Jackson Wink and like all these different people like tweeting and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll see them saying like, "Oh, I gotta rewatch the fight," or almost like long posts of like, "Oh, but Jon Jones won." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like apologizing, like mansplaining it. Yeah, like but not apologizing like. Them like, oh, so yeah, that's how the judges saw it. I was like, bro, you know, it wasn't a good fight. Like, yes, like it was. They punched each other for 25 minutes and all that shit, but like overall, it was to me, it was just a boring fight because there was no threat of an end. Right, like even in Dominic Reyes went for it all the first 10 minutes. That's why he had nothing the last 15.
Right, but he did it.
You know,
he knew that was the risk, and he went for it.
And he went for it, and then he got a controversial decision in the end. If you're the GOAT, you don't let a controversial decision happen against a guy that you know was gassed as fuck. That was only throwing one punch at a time for the last 10 minutes. You can't continue to play it safe and make me want to watch you. Because then, like, I'm going to watch Khabib fights all the time now, however many fights he has left, because I know at any moment he might jump into the fucking crowd and fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I want, that's the WWE aspect of it. Like, I want to see the unknown. Like, we call it, bro. Like, bro, they're probably easy. Jon Jones will probably ink out a decision, and then we'll move on. I think we pretty much said either you or I said that, and that was it. So then, the explaining it away on social media, and it doesn't make for something I want to see again. Like, I don't want to see a rematch. I don't want to see him fight anybody else. Drop the belt at 205. You know what I mean? And even that deads the fight, because then it's like, whoever takes it after that didn't really win it. But you didn't beat Jon Jones. You know what I mean? Right. That's why the perfect fucking segue was 2-3. Jon Jones loses, and we move on and complete new blood into this. Because then you have Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, Dominic. You know what I mean? You have Dominic Reyes, Corey Anderson, Johnny. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a bunch of new guys coming in, and it feels refreshed. But you have a guy who's just playing it safe, knowing he's better than everybody else. Is that really what you want to see, man?
Yeah, no, I agree. It was disappointing. I'm glad Shevchenko put on a show, really. That's all I can say about the Jon Jones main event. I'm glad Shevchenko put on a show.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. That show was amazing. And shout out to Derek Lewis again with the beast of a post fight press conference, talking about how he smoked weed all week. Jesus. And like right before the fight. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. See, like, that's, dude, you're fighting at the end of the day. You're getting paid to fight. Yeah. Like, if you're protecting a legacy, at some point somebody's gonna snatch it. And I guess besides my cousin, I don't know any like true Jon Jones fans out there like that are just ready to ride for him like that, man. Because there's no threat of him ending it all anymore. I don't know. No, it just made me, like I said,
be champion for the next 5 years. And it'll,
and then less and less people will watch, right? Because again, you watch for the threat of a loss. You don't watch to see somebody dominant. You know what I mean? That's why Floyd Mayweather was so genius. He was gonna dominate every fight he's ever been in, right? But he hyped it up and made you hate him, which is what I try to tell, like what we talked about. Like, you need to give me a reason to watch. Be that asshole, Jon. Like, you're not a good person, bro. You're not. And you've shown that. I don't care if you're trying to change a page and grow. Play a character a little bit, man. Like, we know who you are. We saw the fucking the satellite video when you were going off on DC. That's who you really are, dude.
Yeah,
that's who you are.
The video? You know that you ran, you hit somebody, and you went back for your drugs and your money, and you hit a pregnant woman. Like,
exactly,
that's who you are.
You've done.
That's what you care about. You're snorting coke and whatever you're doing, with hookers in Vegas. Like, that's what you're doing. That's who you are. So just own it. Like, I don't get this. Dude, every time he's in an interview, he's like, well, he's trying to play this.
Ariel, yeah. It's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It brings nothing to the table. It doesn't make me want to watch. Like, dude, like, stop it, Jon. Like, we got receipts, bro. We got videos. If you become who you really are, I'll watch a lot more. Derek Lewis is you know what I mean? Is exactly who he is. And he only goes to knock you out. That's it. Man he can't wrestle, can't take you down. He's not gonna choke you out. He's there to knock your fucking head off. But he's gonna be funny as shit because he's exactly who he is. Maybe Jon Jones just isn't comfortable in his own skin, and he's still been this dominant. He has no losses, right? He's 26-0 to me, because I saw that one loss, which was like illegal elbows. Mm-hmm. But dude, like, it becomes uninteresting. Like, it's not fun for me anymore, bro. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. And I know Steven's gonna go off on me about this podcast. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe it," but sorry, man. Sorry, Primo. Just, I can't fuck with it, bro.
Steve will talk about the technicalities, bro. It's martial arts, and you don't want to. He's fighting to score points, and he's fighting to win, and it was a smart fight, and he didn't want to put himself in danger or whatever. He's gonna make for Jon Jones, And the truth is, dude, Ray is laid out on the line, rounds 1 through 2, and he wasn't able to knock Jones out. And Jon Jones was fresh, as if the fight had just started, like as if he was round 4 for him was like round 2, really. And Reyes was on his last legs, and it wasn't, not that it wasn't dangerous, because Reyes is a counter puncher; he can punch backing up.
Yep.
But yo, like that was your opportunity to take him out, and whether you win and move up and vacate the title, whatever, or you keep it and you come back down, because he talked about going up and then keeping the belt and coming back down and fighting at light heavyweight or whatever. But it wasn't a fun fight to watch. And you told me,
wasn't, right?
I mean, you told me, and I told you, and I agreed. I was like, yeah, but I'm still kind of holding hope. I hope that he'll do something. And when the 4th and 5th rounds came about, I thought, okay, here's his chance. Reyes looks like he's dead. I don't see anything in his eyes. His legs are kind of wobbly. Mm-hmm. Let's see what Jones is being aggressive. He looks like he's got all the energy in the world. Let's see what he's gonna do. And he took him down, and I got a kind of little excited, and then he did no damage, and he didn't really attempt to really do too much. With his superior wrestling that he's supposed to have, and all this,
superior jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? Superior grappling, all that stuff. He's supposed to be better in every facet, and he just, I'm gonna just coast to a decision.
Yeah, coast to a decision that he admittedly said he wasn't even sure if he was winning the fight going into the 5th round.
Exactly.
So,
like, doesn't that speak volumes within itself? It was like, it shows how uninterested he is in the fight.
Yeah.
He's willing to coast to a decision when he doesn't know if he's winning the fight. When his team is telling him, hey, man, you might need this 5th, and he still lets it happen. When he looks fresh, because he wasn't pushing the pace at all. Like, it's just, again, bro, like, why am I supposed to show any interest in a fight that he doesn't show interest in? That's what his performance made me feel like. Like, he's not interested in that fight. You know what I mean? He seemed checked out, bro. And he still won. Again, that's a credit to how great he is and his greatness. Like, that's not what we're talking about here. That's never been the debate. It's just sellability, marketability. We want excitement, bro. We're not watching this shit to go 5 rounds on a fight that I can see that you're coasting through. And you yourself are, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? I don't know, man. But like you said, all credit to Shevchenko. She put on a fucking masterclass of a show. Who knows when that woman's gonna lose again? She's terrifying. She's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'd like to see her fight Nunes again. She might get robbed, again. But
yeah, but I mean, I don't know how many fights Nunes has left. Like, I think she's gonna try to start a family with her girlfriend. You mean, because I think her girlfriend Nina Ansaroff is taking time off. Like, they're gonna start a family. I think Nina's gonna try to have the baby. You know what I mean? So they're trying to do their own thing. So she doesn't really need to do anything else. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, dude, all right. So let's talk about this. I didn't even talk about this in the pre-show, but XFL. Did you watch?
For like 5 to 10 minutes.
How was it?
It was like watching.
I don't even know what
I saw Cardell Jones throw a pretty decent, make a couple decent passes, and then it was just, man, it was hard to watch. It was hard to listen to. Like, listen to the announcers; they looked like they sounded fake.
WWE.
And the interviews during the game, because they have whatever gimmicky stuff that they have people mic'd up, and so they do the interviews a little differently than like regular football games. But then like their normal, going into the tunnel, interviewing like the kicker that just kicked a field goal before the half. And it was just, it sounded scripted, which of course, the origins of the XFL with the WWE and all that crazy shit. That I like. Right. The XFL, what it is now is like more of like, it seems like a minor league, right? For NFL teams, people that hopefully are trying to get back into the league. Maybe they put on a good performance, and maybe they'll get on a practice squad, or maybe someone will see them. But yeah, it wasn't really interesting. College football's done. I don't really watch too much of the league of the NFL unless they're good teams playing or the playoffs. The XFL, I try to give it a shot. I gave it a good solid 5 minutes, and that was enough.
I think there's another game tonight, right? But I think I want to try and watch a couple minutes of it. Like, I saw how they do their kickoffs. If it doesn't go past a certain yard, it goes to like the other team's 45, and I gotta see that and see how that works. But I don't know if I'm gonna really give it a real chance, if I'm being honest. And real quick, man, I want to talk about competition. Yes, bitch, I'm a Liverpool fan and Real Madrid because they're on different fucking leagues, man. And so I can root for both of them. Why? Because Mo Salah is my favorite player. He's been my favorite player for the last 3 years. So
I've liked Mo Salah
fuck
for
you,
a
bro.
while. So yes,
No.
but they're gonna face each other in the Champions League.
In the final, bro, Real Madrid. I think the Champions League starts this week, which we got to talk about that Wednesday probably. I think Real Madrid plays Man City. Yeah, Man City this week. So you know what I mean. So we'll see.
Man City lost today, I think. Right, I was watching the game. I thought they were down 2-0.
Oh, they postponed it. I think because of bad weather. It was supposed to be yesterday. I thought when they playing West Ham. I know they were playing like West Ham or some shit.
I thought they were playing the Hotspur.
Dude, I don't know.
Maybe it was previous week's game. I don't know. But
I
I was
don't
watching a
fucking-
game today. Maybe it was a replay of another.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, pull up my Bleacher Report real quick. No, I don't see anything. Barca's actually winning a game, so congratulations to that. That team's over when Messi leaves, right? Like that team's over. Like that entire organization is dead, right? Like they'll be probably relegated right after Messi retires.
Relegated, really?
That team gets 30 points when Messi leaves, right? Like when he just hangs it up. Like they're trying to give Messi all the roids, all the shots in the world to keep him at fucking Barcelona.
All
right?
the huge hormone, everything. Yeah.
Well, he's not getting any taller because he's like, what's he like 5'5", 5'6"? But he's a monster, right? One of the goats. But that team's like really, really over when he leaves, right? Like
they'll build her. I mean, before Messi, who did they? I mean, there was Ronaldinho,
Yeah.
that horse-looking motherfucker, but he was a beast. And then
they had Xavi, they had Iniesta.
Their entire Barcelona team was on the World Cup team. I mean, or obviously some guys from Real, but that entire Barcelona team was on the World Cup.
Spain.
Yeah.
Carlos Puyol, all those guys,
yeah, and they kind of blew it. I don't know what happened with the contract talks, but dude, what's that dude? Why can't I think of his name now? Neymar, who's playing in France, right? And they were thinking about taking back to Barcelona. And
too much money. I wouldn't pay for him.
No, you don't think he's worth it? You gotta have someone. You gotta have
too old.
He's too what?
They have nothing. He's 28 now. That's too old. You don't invest that much money in a 28-year-old.
Messi is 33, 32?
34.
Already?
33 or 34.
Yeah, 30, maybe 33.
Yeah. Ronaldo's 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy, man. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But yeah, dude, we'll wrap this up with this. I went to the fair yesterday and I ate way too much, bro. But like I also paced myself at the same time. It was weird. Because like I don't go to first of all, the fairs don't have rides for men, right? It's all kids and shit. Don't have any kids, so literally just going to walk around, see like different animals and shit, and eat. That's basically it. But dude, it was a good time though, man. Went with some friends that we met a couple weeks ago at Rural King. They just moved to the area. It was a good time, and it was weird like making new friends when I'm older, because you think you're all set and it's like a little strange, but whatever. It was a good time though, man. But it's like the youth fair that we went to growing up, but way bigger and way better and way more country. Like because they have like petting zoos, they have like raffles and competitions for like pigs and cows and all this different type of shit. It's crazy, man. But it was a good time.
So you had some that's like why I was stickers and all deep fried.
I had deep fried cookies. I had deep fried cookie dough and I had deep fried Oreos. Deep fried Oreos were all right, but I don't like Oreos at all. Like I'm not a fan of Oreos in any way. I think they're an overrated cookie. Come at me, bro. Like I don't think they have a real taste or flavor. You know what I mean? They're just like a crunch type of thing. It's just stupid. The deep fried cookie though was really sweet. And then had a I had a chicken hot dog, which was delicious, and then
hot dog.
a chicken hot dog, and then had a pretzel. Like we didn't go too crazy. And then on the way home, we stopped and got Chipotle, and that was like the last thing we ate yesterday, which was like around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And the Chipotle was the best part of the day, so it was a good time though, man. It's nice to get away, like not get away, but to get out of the house.
It's like, what is it? The country fair, or what do they call it?
It's the Florida State Fair.
Okay,
that's what it's called.
I mean, I've been to the one in South Carolina, the South Carolina State Fair. They do the same shit.
Same time. So, yeah. Dude, so many fucking people though, man. Like, dude, we got there like at 11, and it was probably already like 10,000 cars at least. When we were leaving, like, you know what the fair, you know what I mean? Like, any fairgrounds are fucking huge for parking.
Yeah.
Like when we were leaving, like cars were parked on the other side, like at the high school. I guess there's like a high school right across. Cars were parked there, and they were getting like trolleyed over. Like when we're leaving, it's just like you just look on both sides of you. It's just sea and sea of people. Like, yo, fuck this, we're out. That's why we get there early. Get out of there early. I think we were like 11 to 3, and we were fucking done, bro. And we were fucking done.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, right there, growing up in Miami, they had the fair, the Miami County, or over at what was it, Miami Park by FIU, wherever they hold the fair every year. But it's Miami. People have other shit to do, and there would be a lot of people. But living in South Carolina or Ohio, or you in Florida, that's what there is to do. That's the big event, and everyone can be there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's nothing else like that. That's a given. But yeah, that was it. So while you were fucking talking to your wife for 3 hours, which is cool at Starbucks, I was driving with mine to go to the fair. It was a good time though, man. I like that type of shit. It was weird though, because it was a lot of sometimes it's a sobering. It's a lot of white people. You know what I mean? Like it was just again, it's for like where I live. Yeah, it's not scary. You know what I mean? But did see one guy that was 100% on steroids, because he had like the steroid stomach. You seen the steroid stomach where like it's just like a bulge of muscle. You know what I mean? Like they're not fat, but it's just like this bulge of muscle, and he's like all tatted up. Definitely a biker, because his skin's fucking terrible. His skin's fucking terrible. Like he's just like it's got like it's that leather skin, and he's wearing a fucking. First of all, I didn't know they made these. Shout out to Donald Trump for this one, boy. Donald Trump sunglasses. Donald Trump sunglasses, right? And a Trump 2020 hat, but it's like the NASCAR one where it has like flames on the side of it, like around the lid, and like it wasn't like a MAGA hat. It was just said like Trump 2020.
Right.
I was like, okay. Like sitting right in front of me while my wife's in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there because they have like places to sit, and I'm sitting down and sitting right in front of me. We're just looking at each other. I was like, what's up, man? Like,
hey, say what you want. But Trump, man, that team, they have their marketing down. Whatever, you gotta give a shout out to that marketing team. They got it down. 100%. They got the pulse 100%. Of the nation.
Let's calm down there. They got a pulse of that nation, dude. I was listening. I was listening to a podcast from Rogan. He had this guy named Daryl Davis on. Right, Daryl Davis is a musician that also talks to KK, and he's black, big black dude.
Yeah,
and he talks to, I don't know if you listen to this one, and he talks to KKK members and like has them like drop their robes, not purposely, right? Like he just talks to them because he's like curious as to why they joined the KKK and having different conversations with them. So it's just crazy, like hearing his conversations that he had with KKK members. And he talked about like all the racist shit, you know what I mean, overarching and shit. So it was a really interesting. And he talks about like how one guy, he's sitting in a car with this, because they all have like different names. I'm not gonna name them on here because you know what I mean. They all have like different titles or whatever. So he goes. So I'm talking with this guy, and he goes, "Oh well, black people are naturally more aggressive. You know what I mean? More prone to criminality. Like they have a gene that does that." And like they're driving in a car, mind you, the black guy's driving. He was like, "That's stupid. That makes no sense." He's like, "Well, I'm black. I'm in my 50s. You know what I mean? And I've never been to jail. I've never done a drive-by. I've never sold drugs." And the guy, he goes, well, he said, the guy goes, I don't know where he goes, well, that's just because your genius latency hasn't kicked in yet. Like, without skipping a beat. He's like, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
So he goes, he flips it back on him. He goes, well, if that's true, then all white people are. When are you going to be a serial killer? And he goes, what are you talking about? And he names off. He goes, name 3 black serial killers, and he can't. Or he goes, okay, I'll give you 1. And he gives him the name. Give me 2 serial killers, and he can't. And he goes and he starts rattling off all the serial killers that are white: Ted Bundy, BTK, you know what I mean? All those Henry Lee Lewis, all those white serial killers. He's like, but well, Daryl, that's stupid because I'm not a serial killer. He's like, well, that's because your serial killer gene is latent.
Oh man,
like, yo, that's fucking awesome, bro. So it's a really good podcast though. So he just goes into it, and the boss of this guy is crazy. You got to listen to it. Definitely check it out.
I'm gonna have to listen to it because I've read an article a couple years ago about someone and they would go into chat rooms and then they would talk to Klansmen, and it was a black guy talking to these guys. I don't know if it was the same dude though, but listening to the podcast would definitely be something different, a different experience than just reading some article on Times.
Yeah, it's good.
Daryl, what's his name?
Daryl Davis. So I'll tell you like this though, like at the beginning, it's a little bit difficult because he's clearly a smoker and he has like a lot of like phlegm and shit in his throat. So like he constantly has to clear it up throughout the podcast. But like what he's talking about is really interesting. So I'd say definitely check it out. And I'm saying it to you and anybody who listens to this shit. So
yeah, I can imagine it's full of hilarious stories.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, bro. I see you got a chancleta for us today?
Bro, I don't actually. I don't have a chancleta.
Yeah,
do you have one?
I don't really have one. I think the chancleta for today was Jon Jones, bro.
The whole episode, Jon Jones. we
worked pretty hard. Jon Jones, if you're listening to this, the person who said all those mean things about you his name is Jonathan Vallejo. He lives in Ohio, not too far from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think you can catch a direct flight. And please find
Frontier Airlines for $35.99. Actually, the person that said it, her name is Katia, and she has something to tell you, Jon Jones.
You gonna do it? And I think that's a good way to end it, man. We gave him the chancleta. And that's what it is, bro. Because it was. Oh, before I end this podcast, man, I hope we listen all the way through. I want to give a shout out to my boy John Soul. He's one of my coworkers from Mississippi. He listened to this podcast and he gave me like fucking essays of responses. You know what I mean? Never like nothing argumentative, but like he really listens. So I appreciate that, man. I told him whenever he wants to come on with his boy Kobe, we'll have him on here. And I will call it the Mississippi Mudmen or some shit, like the Mississippi. We'll give them like some wrestling ass nickname.
Mississippi swamp monsters.
Exactly, the Mississippi swamp monsters. All right, man. John is always my brother. I know I give you a lot of shit, man, but thank you so much for taking the time, man. Y cómete una gran pinga is how I understand. Yeah.
Come mierda que eres.
Yeah, it was gonna end nice, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't feel right, so I'm gonna insult you in Spanish. Come pinga. Next programming. Obviously, we'll be back on Wednesday with another live podcast, and next Sunday, we're gonna have my cousin Josh Diaz to come on here to talk about what it's like growing up in Panama and whatever else he wants to talk about, man. Because he gives speeches all the time. I feel like we could just give him his own camera and they would fucking run it, bro. Well, my brother, appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out, and thanks for checking out the podcast, man. Peace. John, say peace, bitch. Say peace.
Out.
Oh no, nobody says out anymore, John. Nobody. What would you? Would have been funny if you did like the front-facing deuce,
like anime